What's happening? This is Mike Williams, and this is the Breakthrough Kings. I help men break through their personal barriers, find passion, discover purpose, all while leveraging the internet to create financial independence. What's happening? This is our nightly show every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live. We have different guests. We got Make It Count Mondays. We got Super Tuesdays where we talk about politics and the media. We have Wealth Building Wednesdays. We have Transformation Thursdays. And Friday, we just do what it do. It's the beginning of the weekend warriors, and we just talk about different topics to help men, right? And anybody who wants to join the conversations can help a lot of people, but we like to focus on men because we believe that when more men start to step up and focus on integrity and building and becoming the kings that they are, we definitely will have a better place to live in. So we're going to be rebuilding kings one crown at a time. Tonight, we're going to be talking about kids setting goals. How important is it? And just disclaimer, I am not an expert on this matter. I'm just bringing up topics that I've, come across in my own household and believe that other people might be dealing with the same things. So we have some dialogue, we share. We're doing something different tonight. We actually got a call-in number. It's just Google Voice, but we'll see how we work. We see how it works and see if we able to do it like the radio do it, right? For sure. You can definitely follow us at our Flow page. That's flow.page/Breakthrough Kings. Follow all our different social media platforms, specifically YouTube. We need more subscribers on YouTube, so go over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Definitely trying to get them numbers up. I know you guys might be out hanging, doing your thing on the weekend, but it is what it is. We're here and we're going to talk about it for sure. Ben already shouted us out. Kids should be setting goals and achieving them. Absolutely. I agree, Ben. We're gonna break that down tonight a little bit. We got it in a question format. So I really look forward to you guys joining the conversation. Whether you're going to type it in the comments or you're going to call in, just simply join the conversation. And together we shall talk about kids setting goals. So what are your thoughts about kids setting goals? That's my first question for the night. Me personally, I think it's important. I think that I started to recognize it more when my son turned 16. When I realized his 16th birthday was coming up, I was like, man, have I prepared him, enough for 18, 21, I mean, he'll be graduating in no time. This is junior year. This is the most important year of high school right now. So I'm like, I'm putting myself under pressure. Have I, have I gotten him ready, I think that technology is a huge hurdle, something we didn't have. I mean, me personally, something that I didn't have growing up. I didn't have a lot of technology. The closest thing I had to technology was, a PlayStation, and we rarely played that. At least I wasn't a big video game guy. And when I go back and I think about me being 14, I don't know if I had goals. I had goals. I had some goals because I didn't know it then, but I know it now. I was a business owner at 14, right? I had maybe 3 or 4 neighborhood clients, and I would go and cut their lawns. I would cut their lawns. I would clean out their basements. I would shovel, right? I do all that handyman type stuff, all the lifting, carrying, raking type of work. And there was even a neighborhood uncle. He used to take us with him. He had he had his own, he was his own boss, had him and his lawnmowers, and he used to bring us with us. And that's kind of how we learned to go out and get our own money from him, because he used to bring us with him. We used to help him work. And, God rest his soul, he's not here with us anymore. And he used to help us work. We used to help him work, and he'd pay us. And we was like that. So that was my first experience of, exchanging time for dollars, exchanging, what I mean, a little bit of sweat equity for dollars. And then I started to do that on my own with a few neighbors in the neighborhood. Then it was just like, I'm just getting some money, looking back on it now, I was a little businessman, and as soon as I turned 14, I went and got my working papers. I got them immediately, because, my mom, she made sure we had the necessities, but there was things that I wanted that, we couldn't technically afford. So I had to get out there and go to work. So I believe it's extremely important for kids to set goals to keep them focused, right? We definitely got to keep them focused. Let me see here. Ben says, I've been teaching my grandchildren about setting goals since they were only about 4. And now 1 is 7. He loves doing videos and setting up for the future. That's awesome. That's what's up, Ben. I respect that a lot. I definitely got to work on my 2 youngest. So, focus now on my older son, trying to figure out the best route to, communicate, work with, and, express how important goals are, for sure. I think that setting goals also allows them not to compare themselves with other people, because they can be focused doing their own thing, right? They could be focused growing and doing their own thing, as opposed to, looking at what their friends got or what their friends doing. And I think that can lead to a lot of depression. That can lead to, them, not having the confidence that they need in themselves. So goals are definitely important to set. My second question I have for tonight was, how often do you set goals with your children, right? So I would say, this is a good conversation. This conversation happened like today, right? And that's where this topic came from, because after me and my son finished working out, I asked him. I said, what are your 3 goals? What 3 goals do you have? And he was like, what? I was like, what 3 goals do you have? And I was like, sit down. And he tells me, he's like, well, I want a job, and what's his other thing? His permit, right? And that was really it. I said, did you just come up with that, or there's something you're really thinking about? He was like, something I'm really thinking about. I was like, did you look for jobs? He was like, yeah, I was on the computer. I looked at, he listed the different jobs that he had looked at. And I said, did you apply to them? He said, no, I didn't. I don't know how to apply. I said, did you ask someone? He said, yeah, I asked my friend XYZ. And I said, did you ask your mom and your daddy? Right? He started smiling. I was like, you have your resources right here, bro. Ask us, we'll help you get the ball rolling, So, we sat and talked a little bit more. And by the end of that conversation, I was pretty much like, well, by tomorrow, by our workout tomorrow, let's have a couple of goals and let's set them. I need you to pick out 3 places you want to apply to. And I want you to pick a date in which you want to take your permit to, take your test to get your permit. So I was like, dope, like some goals. We focus so much as adults, we focus so much on our thing, our goals and what we need to do, and what we're doing at our job and in our businesses and all these different things. We forget to ask our kids, like, yo, what's your goal? Because you think about when you're 14, 15, 16, like, you had goals, you had dreams, you had things you wanted to accomplish, and if somebody would have sat me down and gave me some clarity on how to obtain those goals, I probably would have been, a lot further in life, a lot sooner. You know what I mean? My man Ben says, personally, I have been doing entrepreneurship stuff since I was about 9, and it has opened many doors. That's what's up. Salute to you, man. I definitely need to, open up the entrepreneurial lens for my son, for sure. I talk about it a lot, but definitely, within the coming months, maybe we can figure out something that he can do. That'd be awesome. But right now, we're just focusing on, his school. And that's my next question that I got for you guys here is, what do you believe are the most important goals for them to set, right? What do you believe the most important goals? And even before we get to that, let's go back to this last one. How often do you set goals with your children, right? I think 90 days or so, right? Every 90 days, right, you should reevaluate their goals. That's about right. You know what I mean? Because it's going to help them create better habits. And at the same time, you're going to create better habits too. And I'm going to get into that in the 4th question. But I think every 90 days, and I believe that it should flow with school, maybe, because, you got quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's flow with school, because school is important. That goes into the next question. What do we believe are the most important goals for them to set? Obviously, school's going to be at the top of the pile, right? My son this passed, I think, second quarter. So he didn't do too well in chemistry or whatever. The fourth quarter, he didn't do too well in chemistry. He passed, but we thought he could do better. So he ended up going to summer school, and I had to make some adjustments. I said, yo, listen, at 9:30, you got to cut off all the tech. You got to get in bed early, cut off all the tech, hand me all your tech. In the morning, at that time, we were doing virtual school, because the summer we was doing all virtual school. I said, in the morning, you handle school, whatever work you need to do, you need to crush these 3 weeks. And I mean, he crushed the 3 weeks. He followed the schedule to the T, and he ended up getting an A he got an A in the class. I think, yeah, he got an A in the class. And, he crushed it. And I'm like, I bet. But if I hadn't stepped in, asked him them questions, or gave him that plan, or, helped him set some goals for what he wanted to accomplish in those 3 weeks, he may not have done it. You know what I mean? Because every kid is different, every kid is different. And I'm learning more that, we definitely got to ask them more questions. Oftentimes they might not answer them to the full extent that you want them to, but we got to keep asking them questions. Keep asking questions. I'm learning that more and more every single day to just get through. Because I said, with all the technology and the things that they do, the Instagram, the Snapchats, the video games, the Twitch, the YouTube. I mean, they got all this information being thrown at them all which ways. So for us to step in and help them set those goals, I think they can definitely get their focus that they need. As far as important goals, school, obviously education. I'm trying. I haven't. My wife probably tried a little bit more than me as far as getting my son to read some stuff that's not like a part of his curriculum. You know what I mean? I think that's important. I'm an avid reader, but I haven't really made it like, priority to read with my son. So I got to figure out some material that, he'd want to read and really get into. I think that's important. Money management, definitely key. I think I set him up. I took him to the bank and we set up a bank account. He has a debit card. He has an online account. In the beginning, it was a little rough, and didn't happen I think it happened once. I think he was on vacation with his friend, and it was really the first experience he had with the debit card, being on vacation with his friend. He was out of the country, and he was taking money out the ATM. Instead of taking out, $100, he was taking out the 20, and he wasn't paying attention to all the ATM charges. So when I checked in on the account, I was like, whoa, what on earth? I had to call him up. I'm like, man, if you don't log into your account and notice that you just wasted like $20 in fees. He's like, what fees? I'm like, boy, we gotta talk. But now he knows. He knows that there's ATM fees and he needs to read as he's taking out his money. So all these little things that he's definitely learning. He's learning them early, which is important. When I was his age, I definitely had a bank account. We didn't have debit cards or anything like that. I remember when the debit card came out and I got one for Teachers Federal Credit Union. But it's money management is important. And I got a story, a friend of mine's, her sister, I think worked at JCPenney's. And, she made her sister save, a certain percentage of her check. Okay, she forced her to save it. Her sister didn't quite understand, why are you making me save this money? Oh, I want to go out shopping. I want to buy this and that. She said, no, save your money for, emergencies. So coronavirus hits, right? The malls closed. So she can't go to work. She's not making any money. However, because her sister made her save that money, she had money and all her friends didn't, during the shutdown. So that lesson finally came, manifested. She was like, oh, I get it now, right? So money management is important. So, my son has a savings and a checking, and I let him manage his checking. He goes in, he checks his numbers now. He knows what's in there, and he knows what he can't spend and what he can and stuff like that. So he's learning, which is awesome. And soon he'll have a job, hopefully, a little part-time something, a little something, see if he can manage it. At first I was a little nervous with school and work, but I'm like, you know what? I did school and work, we won't know unless we put them out there and help them start to grow up, right, a little bit. So those are the goals that I definitely believe is important. And also self-care. You know, one thing I've been working out with my son recently a lot, and it's really showing as far as the consistency, because now he'll ask me, you know, what time are we working out now? And if I don't, if I'm tired and I don't want to work out, I feel bad, and I end up doing it anyway because now I'm doing it for him per se. You know what I mean? So, you know, so it's helping me as just as much as it's helping him. And that self-care is important because it builds up confidence too. You know what I'm saying? You know, working out makes you strong, makes you fit. You know, you start to look a certain way. So I think that's important. Self-care, man, you know, telling your kids, you know, how great they look and how great they are and everything of that nature. You know, it's important. Self-care is critical, you know. Every kid ain't that confident as you think. So it's important to remind them about that self-care, you know what I mean? And working out's the first step. Definitely the first step to do that. Last question I had here is, how will you support them, right? How would you support them? I kind of touched on it a little bit in the last question, is participate, right? None of this works unless you work it. None of this works, right? Kids are not going to follow through unless you're following through. So I think a lot of us don't force our kids to set goals, or don't talk about goals with our kids because we might not have any goals of our own, right? So unless we got goals of our own, or we're willing to participate in their process, right, they're not going to be able to, you know, grow the way they need to grow, right? So this is stuff I'm learning. I'm learning it every single day, and just to be more and more involved, especially at this crucial time, you know, 16, 17, 18, it's crucial. You know, these are the important times, especially for young boys, you know what I'm saying? I got 2 more coming up, so I'm trying to figure it out so it could be a little easy for the other 2 coming up, but it is what it is. Some of y'all got grown kids already in they 30s and whatnot, so you already been through this process. So for all of you that, you know, have young kids, I think it's important. Goals are important. And like I said, the to participate is everything, and to ask questions. You know, if I hadn't asked my son that question, if it was just a workout and all right, cool, we're done, you know, I wouldn't have found out that, you know, he's trying to find a job. I wouldn't have found out that, you know, he wants to get that permit done. These are things that I'm thinking about in the back of my mind, but I hadn't talked about it with him. Right. So we had that conversation and all these things came out. So I'm like, I bet. So if we don't ask our kids, consistently ask our kids those questions, yeah, they may get annoyed at times. And, you know, you may not know how to exactly ask the question, but we got to ask some questions and be consistent with it. I'm starting to recognize that more and more every single day. That is super important. So none of this works unless we do, guys. So I hope you guys are setting goals for your kids. And for Ben, I appreciate you for participating tonight. Everybody, I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. Get some stuff done, right? Don't go into the weekend and just make it a blah weekend. Go into the weekend, do something for yourself, plan for the next week. That idea that you want to manifest, go ahead and focus on it. And most importantly, make sure your kids are part of the process, because that's it's going to help us too. Right? We all need a little bit of help. So if we want our kids to do better than we're doing, you know, we gotta step our game up so that we can make sure we're teaching them the right things every single day. All right. So this is your boy, Mike Williams. This is Breakthrough Kings. Make sure you follow us on our Flow page. Go to flow.page/Breakthrough Kings. Follow us on all our social media platforms that help men break through their personal barriers, find passion, discover purpose, all while leveraging the internet to create financial independence. I appreciate y'all guys. Again, have a great weekend. Peace out.